Hi traders, consistent trading content to consistent trading value to this channel. It's a place that you will definitely want to subscribe to and turn notifications on. So before we actually even get started with today's content, I'd like to remind you that that's something that you should do. Please subscribe to the channel. We're only just beginning with what's about to happen here. This channel has already contributed to the change in a lot of traders' lives throughout the world, and it's still in its infancy state. I have many plans that are going to really raise the value of the channel and help a lot of individuals really progress down that path toward trading mastery, which is what we all here want. In addition to that, make sure you turn notifications on. That's very important. A lot of people do not understand that just subscribing is not enough, guys. You need to actually be. I just want to make sure that you guys can see me here. It doesn't. Let me just make sure. I'm going to make sure here. I think I need to turn my camera on here. And just be sure. Just give me just a moment here. I'm going to. Give me just a moment here, guys. I need to turn myself on here, I think. And we're going to activate that right now. Okay. And so what a lot of people, guys, a lot of people really don't understand is that it's very necessary to go beyond just subscribing to a channel. You have to turn notifications on if you want to be notified in almost real time every single time I do a live session here. And when I do live sessions here, gradually and increasingly, these live sessions actually are going to be more and more spontaneous. So if I want to bring you into a live trade, I can't really predict when there's going to be a live trade. And if I want to bring you into that experience live, you'll want to be notified if you want to share that experience. Now, anytime I go live, you will obviously be able to see the recording live. You'll be able to see the recording should you not be able to catch the event live. But if you want to participate live and engage with me during some of these live trading sessions, during our sessions with specific questions that I can answer on the spot, then I encourage that you turn notifications on. All right. Now, my stream, it looks like my stream has gone down here. I want to make sure we're still on. All right. So, listen, guys. What I actually want to do is I want to make sure from you that I am fully live. I want to make sure that you can see my screen. I want to make sure that you can hear me clearly before I get started. I want to make sure that you are now watching my trading screen, and just let me know. There's a great deal of raining and storming in the background, so you're going to obviously hear that. We're sort of in the rainy season here in Medellin, Colombia. All right. All right, fantastic. Okay. Now, guys, listen. What I want to do is I want to have a brief review of the exact transactions and all the trades that I took today to produce a little bit shy of $10,000 this morning before lunch. Now, many of you actually do, many of you watch my live trading, or a lot of my live trading unfolds with me on my Periscope channel. If you do not follow me on Periscope and do not catch me doing my trades on a daily basis, live, in your face, I strongly encourage that you do. I have two of those channels operational, one in English and one in Spanish. I will make sure that we link those below in the description, but you definitely should be following me there. Now, as I mentioned, I will increasingly do a lot more of that here on this channel as well, but almost virtually every single day, I am trading live in front of hundreds of traders around the world, not only showing them what I'm currently in, but more in a more valuable way, letting them know what my plan is to do next. And that's where I think the biggest value is in. There are very few people in this industry that will put their trading on the line live in front of your face, win or lose. And I do this every single day. So I strongly encourage that you take full advantage of that. All right? All right. Now, guys, as you can see here on my screen, I only took one play today, or one trade, or one stock, I should say. I traded Micron Technologies. The symbol is MU, and I earned a little bit less than $10,000, but there were multiple trades in this particular play. So let me do this. Let me go to the MU chart, and let's look at each one of my actions, the reasons behind each one of my actions, and more specifically, I want you to be aware of the mindset that I happen to be in at the time of the trade. Now, as many of you realize, and some of you may not, that this game is about 10 to 15% technical, and the rest is psychological in nature. It is your mindset. It is the way your thought processes work. It's the way you handle your feelings and your emotions, and how your belief system triggers each one of those things. That is the vast majority of trading, because in reality, trading is very basic. It's very simple. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying that it's simple in nature. The market has three directions. It goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways. It does not have a billion different processes like the human body, or 4,000 different pistons going off and different processes going off like the engine of a Ferrari. It is a very simple, if not primitive, mechanism. It goes up, down, and sideways. And that's all it does. And it repeats various patterns, interchanging or switching between each one of those three states. And so why is it so difficult if the markets basically only have three directions or three modes? It's because of exactly what I mentioned. It's psychological in nature. Every time you put money on the line, every single time you risk your hard-earned capital, emotions come into play, thoughts come into play, your belief system kicks in, and this triggers certain levels of discipline and lack thereof in the whole 9 yards. So it's 10 to 15% technical, and the rest is psychological. But we're going to talk about some of the technical and the psychological elements that were going on during the trades of MU, my trades of MU today. So let's start off with the very first one, and I'm going to move this box over here. Now, a lot of people ask me, Oliver, what trading system do you use? What you're seeing here is a system called Fusion. This system has been around a very long time. I've had a very, very big hand in helping the developers of Fusion develop certain capabilities for my traders. We are the largest users of Fusion in the world. I have over 7,000 traders worldwide, and we are the largest client of Fusion. I want you to understand that I do not own the platform of Fusion. I do not control their cost structure or anything of that nature. We do use it as an institutional product. This is a product that is not available to the retail public. They cater to the professional institutional market, and institutions license the platform for their specific traders. So Fusion is the platform I'm trading on, and no, it is not available to the retail public. Okay, what you're looking at is a 2-minute chart, guys, of MU. All right, 2-minute time frame. So each bar you see represents 2 minutes of trading. Okay. This is the first bar of the day. So all of this data you see here is from yesterday's activity. All right. Now, I want to go over my first trade of the morning. The first thing I teach my traders to do is, for the most part, you should be allowing the first 2 minutes of trading to go by without any activity. Now, there are specific scenarios where I teach my traders to anticipate and go in before this first 2 minute bar is finished. But 80% of the time, 70% of the time, I would say that's more accurate. 70 to 75% of the time, you're letting this first bar go by. You want that first bar to give you a message, and it needs its full 2 minutes to give you that message. Now, here's the thing. This morning, I noticed, look to the right, upper left, I noticed that the market had opened down pretty strongly. And this was real powerful negativity to the downside, because right off the bat from the open, almost everything on my screen, almost everything here was down and immediately started accelerating to the downside. Now, sometimes a market can open down, and that downward open is not necessarily real. You might see conflict right off the open, so the market opens down, but there's power coming into the market from the upside. Well, this morning it opened negative, and there was power that continued that negative opening. The only thing on my screen that was bucking the trend, that was fighting that power, that seemed to have a conflictory message, was MU. This stock gapped up from yesterday's closing price. The only thing on my screen. Now, quite naturally, this brought a lot of attention to MU, because the only thing green on my screen in my universe, in my world, was MU. And so it drew almost all of my attention. So I watched the first 2 minutes go by. At first, it dropped, and then from that drop, it soared toward the high of its 2 minute period, leaving behind a bottoming tail bar and a green body, as you can see here. Now, my view was that if MU broke above the high, this would really be a tentative buy. The market would be telling me that if the first bar is powerful and that power continues into the second bar, confirming that that first bar's power is real, my method, my strategy, the approach I teach to my traders is that we have to go long. But I would have gone long in a very tentative way. Why? Because the vast majority of the flow, the entire river, was moving in the opposite direction. This was the only fish in my pond, in my river, swimming upstream. So when I have that scenario, I might still do what the stock says I should do, but I'm going to do it in a very small way, because the overall power of everything, the river, the ocean, the flow, was against the long. So the second bar began to trade, right? And as the second bar showed inability to break above the high and then begin to paint the color red, the moment, listen to my percentage, the moment 33% of my green bar was eliminated, boom, I went short. Now, all I needed to see was some weakness to start matching the reality of the entire river. I did not need the entire green to be eliminated. I did not want the entire green to be eliminated before entering. I only wanted a little bit. So 1/3 was enough for me to confirm that I should try this on the short side, that the river, the overall general flow power of the entire market, was going to eventually pull this down toward it to make everything in sync. All right. So I went short at the 1/3 mark. Now, a lot of people feel that it's safer to go short. Even my traders, a lot of them, and I try to fight them on this, they feel that the confirmation move, the eliminating of total, is always the best one, the safest one, but that's not true. Because if I'm wrong, my loss is from here to there. But if I'm wrong here, my loss is a fraction of that size. This is by far the safest entry. And that's where I went long. I mean, that's where I went short with a tight stop above the high. So my risk was this amount in exchange, or as you can see, what eventually happens, that amount. How many of these fit inside of this? Many. And that's how you stay in business. That's how you get wealthy in this business. Okay? So my first trade of the morning was, to go short here. Okay? Then I actually take the gap. All right? I take the gap. The open is here. I want you to understand the bottom of the green is the opening price of the day. Let me erase everything else so you can see it very clearly. This is the opening of the day. Do you understand? Now, look at the gap. Yesterday's close was here. Now, I want you to take this gap and I want you to split it in half. Boom. This is roughly the 50% mark, right? Now, my traders will tell you we use the concept of 50%, or we have almost everything in existence. You got a big fat green bar. I want to know where the middle of it. We got a big fat red bar. I want to know where the middle of the big fat red bar is. We got a big giant fat space. Show me where the middle of that big fat giant space is. Do you understand? I want to see and know the middle of everything, traders. So the stock gapped open, show me the middle. This is where the middle is. Now I take a short here and say I'm going to go for the middle. There's potential for this to drop all the way back to its 200 simple period moving average, I know, but the middle is the safest play. The middle is the more certain play. And in this game, when you're trying to make a living in the markets, you go after what is more certain. You do not try to ask the market to go after what is more uncertain. That is the loser way. All right? So I said, here's the halfway mark. I'm going to go after the 50% mark. So I short here and I immediately start covering here. Boom, boom, boom. Now, why before the 50? Because I want to be out at the 50. So I can't, with the size that I take here, I can't wait for the 50 to be hit to start. I have to start before we approach the 50 and hope that the momentum carries me all the way until I am liquidated at the, where am I at here, guys? I'm sorry about that. Until I am liquidated at the 50%. So I start covering, and I realize that, okay, right now, all right, we're not going to quite get all the way to the 50, and as the green starts coming out, I eliminate my last amount. Now, remember I told you this 50% mark. So I tell my traders after I'm done, I think I have something like $3,000 in profits or something like that, close to $3,000. No, $2,700 or $2,800 on this move here. Okay, so now I'm about $2,800 in profitability in less than 4 minutes. Okay, 2.8K, something like that. You'll see the video. I'm releasing it later tonight. So remember I told you this 50% concept, right? Well, now I tell my traders once we get out here, I say, look, guys, this is a huge bar. This is powerful. This is a wall of red. There is very small odds that MU's bounce is going to take out all of that negativity. In fact, I am going to bet that it will not be able to take out that negativity. And if it does, I will honor MU. If it takes out this red, I will gladly lose my money to it. If MU is powerful enough to take out a long red bar like that on a bounce, if it is powerful enough to recoup its damage, to fall off of a tall story building and like nothing happened, get right back up and climb all the way to the top floor of a 80-story building, then God bless it, it deserves to take my money. So I told my traders, I'm gonna wait for this to move back up to where there's that 50% number again. I want it to come back up to that 50%. Where's the halfway of that big giant red bar? Right there. This stock then rallies back to the upside. Boom! And triggers a whole bunch of brand new orders from me right there. Now, traders who were watching me trade live on Periscope saw this happen right before their very eyes. I got filled here, boom, with another brand new position on the short side, and literally in a minute or two, there was that sound. The sound of profitability, ladies and gentlemen. And 2, 4, 6, 8, boom. That was how I earned the first $4,000 in change. So trade 1, the short here. Trade 2, and the cover here. Trade 2, the short here, and the cover here. Now, why did I cover here? Well, we're coming upon support, right? This whole area of yesterday's price data is a block of support. So I figured, like, let me start coming out right before the support area. And so what I did initially, of course, in the faces of those watching me live as well, not only my traders, but those watching these trades live on Periscope as well, guys. All right? Boom! I go long. See this 200 period moving average? This is one of the most supportive items in existence. I tell traders, I'm going to go long. I've got $4,100 to risk here. I'm not going to risk it all, but I'm going to risk a little bit going long off the 200. But I tell them I'm only going to take a scalp. I'm only going to take a little movement up. Why? Because this power is enormous, just like this one was. I am not going to expect the stock to fight that level of power going on the way. It can pop. It can get me an extra $500 or $600, but it's not. I cannot expect this stock to perform miracles for me. So we're going to scalp this. And that's exactly what happened. Went in here, boom, 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 and got out exactly on the high. What is this based on? What number? You should know it by now. Take the low and the high of that move, split it in half. Top 50%, bottom 50%. I got out right at the 50% level. These things make me look like a genius in the faces of traders from all over the world who are logged in and their jaws drop every single day, traders. But this is not genius. This is basic knowledge of how markets work and odds, and playing the odds and putting money on the line at the right time when the odds automatically shift overwhelmingly in your favor. And that's all this is. It's a game of odds. It's poker in the form of the stock market. And that 50% number, that 50% concept can make you rich. You understand? And I want to teach it to you. I want to teach it to you and drill it in you every single day. And I want to give you the capital to do it so that you can trade better. Guys, listen to me carefully. You will always trade better with someone else's money. You will always be more stupid with your money. Trust me when I tell you. This is one of the hidden secrets on Wall Street. No one uses their own money. They consider that ridiculous. Only novices use their own money. Only poor people use their own money. No real estate mogul uses his own money. No buyer of companies, takeover artists, traders or big people who take over companies, they don't use their own money. People who buy businesses do not use their own money. People who expand their businesses do not use their own money. Only poor people use their own money. Only poor people have the attitude, I don't want to owe anyone. That's only a poor man's mentality. No one in this business uses their own money. And what traders know on Wall Street is that when I use someone else's money, I am held to a higher standard. I perform better. Billionaires form hedge funds to get other billionaires to put their money mixed in with theirs. They don't just want to deal with their own money. No one does that on Wall Street. No one professional anyway. All right. So I give traders my own capital. I know they're better traders with my own capital. And I teach them and train them every single day of their lives. Because if I don't and they slip up, they lose my capital. Right? All right. So anyway, there's that 50% mark. Boom. So guys, I'm entering here, covering there, entering here, covering here, entering here, selling here. And so you have trade 1, trade 2, and trade 3. But there's more. That was $4,100. Well, that moved gains up to, I think, $4,500 or $4,600 more or less. I grabbed like an extra $500 on this scalp here. Okay. Now, I began to go into teaching mode, so I miss all of this. Okay, I miss all of that. But here's what happens next in MU. So I say, listen, I believe, and let me move this over so you can see what I did right from. So I say, I believe that we are now getting a little too extended. I said, we're getting too extended. I take a long position here, right off these lows here. Now, why do I nibble, but it's small. I nibble here. But why do I nibble here? Because remember I told you how I use yesterday's late day price data as a support and resistance block. So look at the lows from the day before and look at where we've come down to. Do you see? Right down to the lows of the prior day, right before this gap up. So this area is support to me, okay? So I say, let me give it a shot. I've got like $4,600 to play with and work with, right? Let me give it a shot, I tell myself. So I give it a shot here, and I wanted to see how, but I got the overhead 200 there, so I wanted to see how this handles. I didn't like the way it handled itself, but so I start to come out. But again, I start to come out of the play once again based on the 50% concept. Look at the move down. Let me do it in a different color so you see it clearly. Look at the move down. And where is 50%? Right here. Because if there's one thing that you should walk away with here, it's my 50% concept. Boom, there's a 50%. So I come out of that little scalp there. Not a lot, $200, something like that. So now I'm just under $5,000 in profits. Just under $5,000 in profits. And this stock breaks down here. Now I say, look, I did a video on this YouTube channel the other day that if you have not watched it, it is imperative that you get this video in. I would watch it several times to make sure the concept is driven deep inside of you. This concept revealed talks about time, which is this way, and space, which is this way. Now, I did not go into everything about my concepts regarding space and time, but I will quickly tell you this one. Space overtook time in length, and space is too extreme. These two, time and space, or espacio in español, right? They should stay together. They should stay largely in sync. And when one gets too far extended away from the length or size of the other, there is an adjustment that has to be made. So space is too long for time. Now, either this has to stop creating space and go sideways while time continues to catch up, or this has to get up to shorten space so that it equals time again, because time and space stay relatively equal in the universe. In the stock market, or any market for that matter, is no different. Now, I'm giving you some really deep stuff here today. So I play based on these concepts, these universal concepts. So I'm saying this has got, space is too long. We've got to see, first of all, there's not much more downside left here because space is overextended. And either I have found close to the bottom here, or I've got the exact low. Even if I don't have the exact low, I'm close. I know it. I know it based on my 31 years of experience. So I wait. And this is what I wait for. I wait to see a powerful bull sign. I just need one. And I am going to frickin' pile into this thing like there is no tomorrow. Do you understand this? Boom! And there we go. I want you to understand what happens here. This bar initially drops, traders. And it looks ugly. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's still some more downward, just a little bit more. But all of a sudden, this bar starts to eat away at itself. Boom, 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 boom. You follow what I'm saying? It starts to eat away. Boom, 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 boom. And listen, I want to show you something really interesting. When the red goes back above the low of the green, right there, see this green bar here? When this red gets eliminated, and boom, when it moves back into the range of the green, I just start drilling. I just hold the buy button down, guys. I actually want to run out of money right here. Do you understand? I want to put my whole account on the line right here. I've got time in my favor. All right? I've got space. I got the time and space concept. And guys, based on the video I explained to you, based on what I explained to you in a video 2 videos ago, was how many legs down do I have? Leg 1, right? So there are multiple legs, right? Here's leg 1 and then an interrupt. Here's leg 2 and then an interrupt. Here's leg 3 and an interrupt. I'm on freaking leg 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most turns happen after 2 or 3 legs. I'm almost double the norm. So I've got time, space, and the leg theory in my favor. Oh my God. That's why I emptied my account. Do you understand? I emptied my account into this right here. Boom, boom, boom. Tight stop underneath the tail bar. And that is how we play this game. Now, so I'm piled in, and just, dude, the rest is history. And traders who were watching me live were told exactly what I was going to do in advance. And many of them took the same trade that I took here. That was crazy. So that's, guys, that was all the trades. That's how I earned the $9,600 plus this morning before lunch. So if you want to count the bars, that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 12, 14. So you're talking about, shoot, you're talking about an hour of trading. It's crazy. Guys, the possibilities in this game are just absolutely astounding. I want you to understand that you live right now is the very best day of this entire industry. Listen to me carefully, traders. It is the very best day of this entire industry. You are living right now on the very best day. Today is better than any other day. It's better than yesterday. It's better than any day last week, any day last month, any day last year, any day in the last decade, any day in the last century. Guys, listen, don't let anyone fool you. It was not better than it is today. I've been around for 31 years. The opportunities available to you today are far greater than they have ever been. Do you understand this? Thank your lucky personal God that you are living today. All right? That it wasn't better before, it's better now. Okay? I wish I had the opportunities you had. I wish I had access to capital the way you have access to capital today. I wish I could trade over the internet from home. I wish I didn't have to get on the train and fight the inclement weather every single day and spend 3 hours in transit to an office. I wish I could trade from a laptop. I wish I could go on vacation and never miss a beat. I wish I could trade from all four corners of the earth when I first started. I wish there was so much access to training and education and books and articles and programs. There was nothing in the early 1980s. There was not a single book I could rely on. There was not a single seminar or event or expo or anyone who wanted to talk to you. Traders, listen to me. I did not go to the right schools. I was not accepted into the club. I didn't have the right color or the right last name. I was turned down by 179 firms on Wall Street. I sent resumes to 179 firms because the only thing I ever wanted to do in life was to be a professional trader. And I took my opportunity. And out of 179 resumes, traders, listen to me carefully. Out of 179 resumes, I got called back by 2. Do you understand this? True. I got called back by 2 firms. I came into those interviews. I did those 2 interviews to the best of my ability. And I got turned down by those 2. I was depressed. I felt like the only thing I ever wanted to do in life was being denied me. All right? I went to school for accounting only because, not because I liked accounting, because I felt that was the closest thing I could study in university that would be associated with the stock market, where I'd learn how to pick a company apart. You understand? I learned how to pick a company apart and read how it makes money. And so to me, that was at least somewhat associated with trading, with the markets. That's why I studied accounting, not to be an accountant, to somehow help me with my trading. And so I got turned down by all 179 firms. I had a friend who got accepted, okay, at a firm called Oppenheimer. And I was a little envious, I'm not gonna lie to you. So this friend said, Oliver, listen, man, don't be depressed. I have an idea. Did you send your resumes out with your middle initial? And I said, yes, I always put my middle initial in my name, in my signature. And he says, okay, listen, I have this idea. Send all 179 out again, he told me. Send all 179 out again, but drop the middle initial L. I said, what are you talking about? He said, listen, they're going to look at it like it's a different thing, and you're just going to increase the odds by doing the whole round again. So I did it. This time I got called by 1 firm. And then they said no. So listen, to make a long story short, guys, because we have one additional thing to cover before this live session is over. To make a long story short, fast forward years from that time I was turned down by virtually every firm on Wall Street. Years later, I would be named the Trader of the Year. Okay. Several years later, I would be one of the most sought after traders in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area of the United States by virtually every major firm on Wall Street who sought me out to come to their trading floors to hold speaking sessions. Fast forward years later, these same firms, all right, designated me the speaker or representative of the entire industry, where I was the keynote speaker to the industry's major events every single year. I spoke for the professional community in front of crowds as large as 8,000 people at a time. Fast forward years later, these same firms that denied me would send traders to my office to be trained for 1 week, $25,000 per trader. 1 week, I would take a maximum of 10 at a time. I was booked for 6 years straight. 6 years straight, training traders 10 at a time at $25,000 a piece. And that is real. And that is documented. That is documented. Right? So success is always the very, very, very best revenge. Don't forget that, guys. Don't forget that. So, guys, listen. A few things here. I am about to blow this channel up, so I want you here. I want you subscribing to the channel. I want you turning that notifications bell on. I'm going to blow your minds. Those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know when I say this, it is true. So I want you to get ready. All right, get ready. Okay? The other thing I want to let you know is that I am going to be releasing another brand new educational video that is going to use the very trades that I covered here with you today. That is going to come out probably in the next day or so. I'm still trying to work my schedule where I can be a lot more regular, like I plan to be with the channel. That is coming, but just give me a little bit of time, give me a little patience. But every single week there's going to be something, and ultimately I want to turn this channel into an almost daily channel where every single day your level of trading expertise, your level of trading sophistication is going to be raised just a little bit more. Okay, so I want you to be around. Let's make this the most valuable trading community here on YouTube, if not the entire internet. Okay, let's do it together. The other thing I want to mention to you is that this weekend, I just had this spontaneous idea. I did a little slow motion video, and I was talking to my friend as I was doing as he was filming the slow motion, and he was like, "Oliver, man, this is really cool. You should post this." I'm like, "Yeah, but it doesn't have any meaning. What? What should I say? What should I say with it? What should I do with it?" And he was like, "I don't know. Just like say what you were saying. Just type what you were saying, because what you were saying is very powerful." So I decided to do that. And I decided to actually, in a spontaneous way, just hold a contest. If you can guess what I'm saying in the video, I have a special prize for you. But I did not want to hold your typical contest. I wanted to make sure that every single person would be a winner. And so I came up with this idea to give the grand prize winner, his name is John, to give him a $50,000 trading account for life. And so what John is going to be able to do is we're going to invest in his training and education every day for 3 months. We're going to try to make sure that he knows what to do, does the right thing, and can take this $50,000 account and change his life. Okay, so that's the grand prize. John came up with the grand prize. So many of you were so comical and amazing. You had me dying of laughter the entire weekend. I enjoyed reading almost every single one of your posts. And I will let you know that many of you came very close to this. It was not just John who hit it and no one else was close. A lot of you were close, so we had to have an executive decision of which person came up with this more of the specific words. And to be honest with you guys, I don't want to switch away from you and look right now, but I was saying, listen, guys, I am here. Let us do this together. We can do this. You can do this. Let's take over the trading industry. Let's take over the world. And I was saying things of that nature. I knew it was virtually going to be impossible for someone to get every single thing said because the video is only allowed for a certain portion of the message. So I had to drill down into the specific words. Some of you actually got the message very accurate, and the video only covers a portion of the message. And I think that's just because you've been around me long enough to know how I talk and how I'm always trying to motivate you. So that was just a lot of fun. But John came up with the closest from a word to words perspective, and so he's the grand winner. But in many respects, you all are winners because I've decided to give you 2 weeks of daily access all day long. This all day long, from the start of the open until the market closes. You will be under guidance. You will be under the direction of some of my best traders in the world and some of my best trainers and educators in the world. All right. You will gain the access to this starting the next Tuesday. So 1 week from today. I need time to organize it. It's a lot of you. And so next Tuesday, 7 days from today, you will have access to what we call our live trading chat. This is the same community that a big portion of my traders spend their time here every single day. Do you understand this? So it's like we're inviting you into our world and showing you every single day what we do, what's being said, what's being taught, some of the corrections that we make with the traders, and the guidance we give them, and you will have access to the very same trades that my traders are doing. Now, there is a caveat. I do want to, for the sake of being as truly transparent as I possibly can, I do want you to understand this, that this is not the same thing that you see when you log in and watch me trade live. These are special groups of my traders that all of them are special, but these are specific groups of my traders that I am right now spending really detailed time with. And yes, this group of traders does change over time. Okay? But this is not what you'll have access to. Will you have access to me? Absolutely. I will be in there. Not every minute of the day. I will pop in. I will spend time with you. We will do some trades together. But you are going to be under the direction and guidance of my trading team. And I will tell you, some of these traders are more accurate than me. All right? You watch me live every day. You're going to watch some traders that actually challenge me on consistency. All right? You think I'm consistent? You just wait for this 2 weeks to happen. It's going to blow your mind, guys. And I promise you, I vow to you that at the end of that 2 week period, you can't be the same. At the end of that 2 week period, your minds will be blown. At the end of that 2 week period, you will never see nor trade the markets the same again. There will be no way to leave this 2 week period and not be elevated in almost every corner or every area of your trading. All right. So I want to make sure that you understand that. I just want to make sure everything's okay here, guys. I think it is. I am looking at myself over here. What else? I actually need, I'm going to put a monitor right above my camera here so that I can always see. I mean, I see myself, but I need the actual live feed on YouTube here to make sure that everything's going and not down without looking to the side here. But anyway, okay. So Here's what you need to do. You need to email boom@ifundtraders.com. I will make sure that email address is in the description below this live event, which will of course be archived for you to refer back to. So I want you to send an email. In the subject field, I would like you to put contest participant, okay? Or in Spanish, of course, concurso participante. But just put that in the subject field, okay? This service will be both in English and in Spanish. So if you don't worry about a language barrier there, that's no problem for us at all. Okay? So send an email out there. Now, it might take a day or two to get a response back from you, to you, but trust me, before Friday, you're going to have all of the instructions, the link where to go to, your username, password, how to log on this thing, but it will not begin until Tuesday. That's 7 days from today, okay? So just want to remind you of that, okay? We need time to organize everything. So each and every one of you is a winner. Each and every one of you is going to have your trading elevated beyond your wildest dreams during this 2-week period. This is professional. This is not a chat room where a bunch of novices are talking to each other, which has absolutely zero value. In fact, it has a negative value, because the last thing you should be doing is exposing yourself to a bunch of novices talking nonsense all day long, okay? You will be under strict professional guidance every minute of the trading day. You'll be able to get your questions answered. There will be so many of you, I might have to turn the chat feature off, where you'll be able to chat, but you may not see the chatting of others. But there's literally going to be thousands of people. So you're going to be in a community with thousands of traders online simultaneously under guidance. It's going to be something, if you're from the outside, something like you've never seen before, okay? So I just want to say thank you very much, guys. Thank you for all of your generosity. I always say this, I am floored and I am flabbergasted by the support, the kindness that flows out. It actually serves as such a huge motivational force for me. I do my best to read each and every one of your personal comments. It's starting to get a lot more difficult to do that, but I do block out periods of time every single day to try to get through every single personal comment that you send me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm not always able to do that, but I do try. I want to start making this my major format. It just incorporates everything that I want to do. It gives me the tools to do everything so that I don't have to chop it up and say, okay, we're going to do this over here, we're going to do this over there, we're going to do this over here, we're going to do this over here. This incorporates everything. I have live, I have videos, I have chat, I have comments and private messages, and it's just the whole structure is in this one format. So I'm going to start really making this the #1 place. I ask you, if you truly find what we do here, what I do here, please like the videos. That is a huge help for me. That is how you compensate me, by liking the videos. And if you can find the time to make a comment, to show a little bit of appreciation, that goes such a long way. You have no idea. It is read and it is taken very serious. All of your comments are taken very seriously. I will do my best to respond in some way to almost each and every single one of them. So like the videos, comment, and share. If you find that there's anyone in this world who you care about, your following, your fan base or whatever, who can benefit from what we're doing here, let's do this. Let's do it together. Let's create the best, most powerful, most educated, tight family, trading family in this space. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Guys, I did this before where I had 4 million followers and people before the internet. All right. And now that we have the internet, we can have more. All right. Not that more is better all the time, but you know what I'm saying. Like-minded people coming together a very, very powerful force. Okay? So listen, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. I'm going to go have a cigar and then later some dinner. I hope you found this session informative. I'm sorry I did not get an opportunity to really deal with you live here. I just wanted to make this as short and concise, but yet as educational as possible. All right? Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your participation. Make sure you follow me on the Periscope, links below. Make sure you're with me every day during Instagram because I'm communicating with you every day there. And make sure this is your main home, guys. Love you guys to death. Thank you very much for being here. Ciao for now, but only for now. Peace.